and welcome to St. Lucia Magazine, a weekly news program bringing you the latest updates on key developments in healthcare, education, infrastructure, and the economy. I am your host, Petula Olibert. In this week's recap, the iconic tourist lookout, the view at the Mourn, opens, and the leader of government business expresses unequivocal support for Prime Minister Pierre's budget. In the top story, the government of St. Lucia has completed a $1.2 million renovation that has restored access to a treasured tourist attraction, the view at the Morne. Details in this report.
3, 2, 1. Lights!
The Morne lay-by, an iconic pastries landmark and economic hub for local vendors, got a dramatic facelift facilitated by the Pierre administration.
And the vendors, to me, are the most important people in this whole organization because they are the ones who have to earn the income to feed their families, to improve the lives of their children, to improve their lives, to create some level of wealth so that they can generate some wealth. And their generation must not be like the generation to come. The generation to come must be better than them. And these small steps may seem insignificant, but these small steps are the genesis of creating a new St. Lucia.
In March 2024, Prime Minister Pierre secured a $6.3 million concessionary funding arrangement with the CARICOM Development Fund, or CDF, to enhance community-driven tourism projects that highlight our island's unique selling propositions.
CDF's contribution to this particular facility is in the amount of approximately $613,000 US. So when combined, the CDF has provided over $7 million US in committed support to St. Lucia's community-based tourism program. And we are very, very proud of that level of investment.
On April 29, 2025, Minister for Tourism, Honorable Dr. Ernest Hilaire, Chief Executive Officer of the CDF, Rodinal Suma, Tourism Ministry Permanent Secretary Donalyn Vite, together with the Prime Minister, officially inaugurated the revamped and renamed The View at the Morne.
It is more than just a stop. For us, it's an opportunity to create economic empowerment for our people, to enhance economic and commercial possibilities. It's also to offer really decent and civilized conditions for our visitors and citizens when they stop at sites like this. Can you imagine stopping at some of the sites? You cannot get some of the basic facilities, a restroom, just a vending facility where you can get something to eat and to drink and whatnot. So we're going to work actively to ensure, not just on the beaches, but also at the famous lookout spots in St. Lucia.
The View at the Morne is an architectural triumph that offers a fresh perspective from the most famous lookout point in the capital. Shelter, comfort stations, secured storage spaces, and a range of mixed-use potential have been unlocked at the View at the Morne. Land tour operators, visitors, and St. Lucians have regained access to a historic and treasured monument that reveals a captivating vista of our nation's cityscape and beyond.
At a recent Senate sitting, the leader of government business lauded Prime Minister Pierre's financial aptitude. Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Investment, Creative Industries, Culture and Information, Honorable Gibeon Ferdinand, recently commended the prudent management of finance and economic expert, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip J. Pierre, at an April 29th Senate sitting on the 2025-2026 Appropriation Bill.
Prime Minister Philip Joseph Pierre has been able to manage this country, bring it back to a level of economic stability, has been able to service its debt, while at the same time increase public servant salaries, increase pensions, and register 3 consecutive years of economic growth, while at the same time reducing unemployment to the first in many, many years to single figures, and being able to set this country on a path for economic prosperity.
Minister Ferdinand characterized Prime Minister Pierre's leadership as competent, compassionate, and guided by a philosophy to improve the lives of citizens both socially and economically.
Our projected growth is above the regional average. And if I may tell you, the regional average is at 2.2%. And St. Lucia, having grown its economy for 3 consecutive years, in the 4th year, our projected growth is looking at a 4% growth rate. That represents 1.8% above the regional average. And while all of this is happening, we have brought our debt to GDP ratio down from what we inherited at 95% in 2021 to 73% currently.
A debt-to-GDP ratio of about 40% is usually noted as a prudential limit for developing countries, the United Nations states. And in keeping with his commendable financial acumen, Prime Minister Pierre made it possible for St. Lucia to pay off more than $3 million owed to the University Hospital in Martinique. Melissa Paul tells us more.
The government of St. Lucia has made major progress in settling its long-standing debt to the Centre Hospitalier Universitaire de Martinique, or the CHUM, with over $3 million paid towards arrears dating back more than 20 years. The announcement followed a high-level meeting between Prime Minister Honorable Philippe J. Pierre and the director of the CHUM in Martinique during the Prime Minister's official one-day mission to Martinique. The arrears covered the cost of specialist care for St. Lucian patients referred to the CHUM. This payment helps safeguard access to life-saving treatment for St. Lucians, especially in emergencies or where local services fall short. In addition to health cooperation, the Prime Minister met with the Préfet of Martinique and the High Command of the Martinique Police and JADAM to deepen bilateral cooperation on citizen security and border protection. He was joined by Honorable Jeremiah Norbert, Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for home affairs, crime prevention and persons with disabilities, and Commissioner of Police Mr. Vern Gard. Alison Joseph, Consul General of St. Lucia in Martinique, was also in attendance.
Strong relationship between Martinique and St. Lucia, but we also have some issues, and issues that the main issue that I still got facing issue on Charlie Track, both the illicit drugs and also the trafficking of arms, illicit arms. And the St. Lucia government has a zero tolerance towards crime, towards any sort of crime, any sort of illegality. We have a zero tolerance. So we'll work with our friends in Martinique, meaning our law enforcement agencies have developed a very strong bond. People told about the relationship that we have somebody in the embassy in the gas streets working on these issues. So we are going to leave no stone unturned to make the waters between Martinique and St. Lucia clean, pure, pristine, not only in terms of environment, but in terms of illegality. We will work, we will cooperate, our law enforcement people will cooperate with each other. We will strengthen our intelligence, we will strengthen our capabilities, we will strengthen our means of detection of crime.
Talks focused on joint action to prevent and disrupt illegal activity across both jurisdictions and a tour of the national security infrastructure. The visit also expanded bilateral discussions beyond health and security, touching on trade, migration, regional integration and language development. The payment to the Centre Hospitalier Universitaire de Martinique, or the CHUM, not only strengthens St. Lucia's partnership with France Martinique, but also reflects the government's commitment to sustaining access to critical healthcare for its citizens. At the same time, deeper security cooperation reinforces a shared commitment to citizen safety and the rule of law.
This is St. Lucia Magazine. Next up, The discovery of illegal sand mining activities at Grandlands Beach threaten the safety of wildlife nesting sites. Stay with us.
The Substance Abuse Advisory Council Secretariat, within the Ministry of Health and in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, will be conducting the 5th round of the Global Youth Tobacco Survey, GYTS. This survey is to gain information on patterns of tobacco use, exposure to tobacco products and their related health risks. The information received will help review and develop programs for youth to protect against the dangers of tobacco. The survey will be done within all secondary schools on island with students in grades 8, 9 and 10. Participation in the survey is anonymous and confidential. The Global Youth Tobacco Survey is scheduled from April 30th to May 9th, 2025, and will not only track youth tobacco use trends, but will also empower youth awareness, advocacy, and help reduce future tobacco-related diseases. For more information, please contact the Substance Abuse Advisory Council Secretariat at 468-7921 or 468-7919.
Welcome back. The Department of Forestry has partnered with local organizations to stem illegal sand mining activities at a protected marine reserve that compromise the safety of endangered species. Sarek Felix has the details.
Illegal sand mining activity has been uncovered at Grandlands Beach, raising serious concern among the Department of Forestry and conservationists. The discovery was made during a routine wildlife site visit and monitoring exercise that was conducted recently by the leading authorities. A subsequent assessment of the damaged nesting ground and surrounding habitats were carried out with the involvement of key agencies, including the Department of Fisheries, the Department of Infrastructure, the National Conservation Authority, and the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. Grandlands Beach and its adjacent mangrove area are recognized as vital ecological zones, home to a wide array of wildlife. Most notably, the area serves as a critical nesting ground for the endangered St. Lucian iguana and the leatherback sea turtle. Assistant Chief Forestry Officer Pius Haynes expressed that approximately 10 iguana nesting sites were tampered with and mined during the illegal activity.
Now, we know that this sand mining has tremendous negative implications on the very survival of the endemic St. Lucia iguana, because the iguanas, they actually use the sand for nesting. They use the sand to tunnel through and to actually have the eggs laid within the sand, the soft sands of the beach. And so every year the nesting season is from February down to May. So we are actually in the nesting season of the St. Lucia iguana. And what we are discovering is that there are significant portions, significant patches of area that has been mined for sand. And what we've also seen happening is that the vegetation in terms of the sea grape has been cut back with a chainsaw so that persons could have more access to the sand. Now, in the very act of doing those things, they are actually destroying all of the known iguana nesting sites we have there. So we have 10. All of them have been tampered with. All of them have been destroyed.
Deputy Chief Fisheries Officer Thomas Nelson highlighted that Grandlands Beach is legally protected under the Fisheries Act as a designated marine reserve, and emphasized that sand mining in these areas can have devastating impacts on wildlife, especially species that depend on stable and undisturbed nesting grounds.
Grandlands Beach and Mangrove is an important ecological area. It was actually designated a marine reserve, so Grandlands Beach and Mangrove, they are marine reserves under the Fisheries Act. And based on the report of illegal sand mining, we found it necessary to come to investigate the matter. And, the beach is an important nesting site for sea turtles, particularly the leatherback sea turtle, but you also have the other species such as the hawksbill and the green turtles that also come to nest on that beach. The mangrove is also an important area for fish and other species. So therefore, the illegal activity of sand mining can really be detrimental to the benefits that can be accrued from that site.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Food Security and Rural Development has strongly condemned this destruction of wildlife habitat and issues a stern reminder to the public: anyone found guilty of damaging or destroying wildlife habitats commits an offense under the St. Lucia's law and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of $5,000, imprisonment, or both. Anyone with information regarding illegal sign mining activity is encouraged to contact the Royal St. Lucia Police Force or the Department of Forestry. From the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Food Security and Rural Development, I am Zarek Felix reporting.
Prime Minister Pierre has increased the budgetary allocation made toward the safety and security of the nation. Riani Isidore tells us more.
Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre's 2025-2026 budget will arm the Royal St. Lucia Police Force with additional resources and support to efficiently execute their duties, suppress criminal activity, and ensure law and order is maintained throughout the island.
The government's job is to provide resources and an enabling environment for the police to perform their duties. In this regard, we have continued to increase the financial allocation, increase manpower and training. Last year, 75 new police were trained and enlisted, along with 62 new police constables. 80 new recruits will commence training in June and end in November. Mr. Speaker, that means that by December 2025, we will have increased the manpower of the police force by 221 persons. The government has also commenced the Tourism Rangers program, with 58 of them having taken the oath. This is to ensure that our beaches and other places of recreation remains safe.
Furthermore, the Prime Minister has allocated significant resources to enhance our national security infrastructure, notably construction of the landmark Northern Divisional Police Headquarters, likely to be the largest and most advanced police facility in the OECS, is expected to be completed before the end of 2025. The new Northern Divisional Police Headquarters will end years of displacement for police officers stationed in Grozile and improve security in the island's north. A new custody suites detention facility situated in the capital will be operationalized in May of this year. The recently renovated Southern Police Headquarters in Veyfort is online, and the police force's drug squad is now operating from a new base. The national security allocations in budget 2025-2026 is poised to further strengthen law enforcement functions in St. Lucia.
We completed the construction of the custody suites, which will be opened on May 23rd, 2025. The Northern Divisional Headquarters in Grozile is now under construction and will be opened this year. The Southern Division Headquarters has been operationalized following a period of extensive renovations. The relocation of the ancillary police station has been completed. The government has supplied new equipment and 64 vehicles to the police. An additional 131 new police officers were hired. The police's K9 unit has been augmented.
The Pierre administration is determined to keep St. Lucian streets, communities, and neighborhoods safe for our citizens, inhabitants, and visitors.
Stay tuned. We have more police news after this short break.
Yeah, my G. Yeah. The road clear, my G. Do road.
I don't feel now is the right side.
Are you mean by the road clear, my G? Do road 120. Yeah, man, that's how we do it, like real boss. Boy. Yes, that. Watch it.
Don't fall victim to peer pressure when driving. Your life and the lives of others are your responsibility. Drive safe. Arrive alive.
Welcome back. In more police news, new special police constables assigned to the reinstated Rangers unit are charged with protecting local attraction sites. More in this report.
After nearly 20 years, the Rangers unit is back. 43 new special police constables have been assigned to the reinstated Rangers unit, further augmenting the ranks of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force.
It is truly a privilege for me to stand here today to warmly welcome each of you, the special police constables, into our law enforcement family. I want you to see yourselves not just as enforcers of the law, but as agents of positive change. Your role is crucial in the wider framework of plural policing. This initiative represents a significant investment by the government of St. Lucia, an effort to recreate and strengthen this Rangers unit to support law enforcement, particularly with an emphasis on the tourism sector.
The Rangers unit will enhance citizen security measures at our local touristic attraction sites and other strategic locations throughout the island.
You are expected to do two things. On one hand, you're expected to be a law enforcement officer. And on the other hand, we expect you to be a tourism ambassador. How do you achieve both? Because the concept of law enforcement suggests that you are there to ensure that the rules, the laws, and other regulations are observed. But we also expect you, from the tourism side of it, to be out there engaging visitors, engaging persons that use the beaches and other places of interest, and to make them feel so welcome and to encourage them. And for them to want to come back to St. Lucia because you've added to the experience that they've had. They feel safe, they feel secure, and they feel that they're in a place where they are treasured and welcome.
The new Rangers took the oath in March and successfully completed nearly 8 weeks of intensive training at the police training school.
Be an agent of change. Put your youthful energies and exuberance to good use, and always be prepared to go beyond the call of duty. Don't be satisfied with just showing up for duty and doing minimum work. If so, I need to tell you without any reservation, you are sitting in the wrong place. Rangers, you need to make your presence felt within your workspaces and give the public you serve the assurance that you are serious about performing your duties.
The safety and security of our citizens, inhabitants, and visitors remain a non-negotiable priority of the Pierre administration.
It's the first time that training has happened for young men and women to join the police force for a very, very long time. And I'm very proud to be the Minister of National Security when that is happening. It's the first time almost in decades, and if I'm wrong, I stand corrected, that police have formally been trained in St. Lucia. And more are going to be trained. A new set of officers are going to begin their training in June, which is next month. And hopefully by the end of this year, we should have over 150 new recruits in the police force. That is testimony of the government's commitment to law enforcement. We don't just talk about it. We make it happen in tangible terms, and you can see the tangible terms. No one can doubt that there were 79 new recruits and 67 or 62 new Rangers, and you add additional 50-something. So it's tangible things, tangible evidence.
In addition to the Rangers unit, the Pierre administration will continue providing the resources and support to the Royal St. Lucia Police Force to keep our streets, communities, and neighborhoods safe.
And to wrap up our broadcast, the Honorable Justice Mario Michel has retired after 15 years of service to the judiciary. Details in this report.
A heartfelt tribute was extended to Acting Chief Justice, the Honorable Justice Mario Michel, during a formal sitting of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, as he officially retired following over 15 years of distinguished service to the judiciary. The ceremony, graced by dignitaries, including His Excellency Sir Errol Charles, Governor-General of St. Lucia, celebrated Justice Michel's enduring contributions not only to the court, but also to legal education and public engagement throughout the region. Speakers lauded his leadership, integrity, and compassion, emphasizing his dedication to strengthening the judiciary's public image and expanding access to justice, particularly through community outreach initiatives aimed at the youth and wider society. Justice of Appeal, Her Ladyship, the Honourable Justice Margaret Price Findlay, reflected on Justice Michel's character and career.
He has served the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court in various capacities for 15 plus years with humility and enthusiasm. Justice Michel, in his tenure as Chief Justice, has brought his own inimitable style to the position. And while we are aware that hard decisions have to be made, and Justice Michel has had to do that, he has done so with empathy and firmness, with a level of understanding and humanity which is sometimes absent from persons in these positions.
Colleagues recalled his unwavering commitment, even through personal illness, and praised the legacy he leaves behind in regional jurisprudence and the administration of justice. For St. Lucia Magazine, I am Geraldine Bisset Joseph.
And with that, we've come to the end of this edition of St. Lucia Magazine. Special thanks to all who contributed to this production, the National Television Network, the GIS team, and the communications officers from the various ministries. And thank you, our viewers, for joining us on NTN Channel 122 and on the official social media pages of the Government of St. Lucia. I'm Petula Olibert. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, as we look forward to more positive developments in the week ahead.